Hey Seekers, welcome to the Existential Shift. Very happy and grateful to have you here. Feel free to say hello in the chat. I don't think it's a problem because you guys are subscribers, but technically if you are new and you want to ask a question in the chat, then you need to be subscribed. Super easy, just press the subscribe button if you're not, and then you'll be able to partake. Okay, let's see. The candle. All right. So basically, hi, happy 4th. Thank you for being here. Let me know that you're in the house and ask me anything, pretty much. It could be personal, it could be general, it could be spiritual, it could be material. I'm going to start with a couple of announcements, just general announcement. And in the meantime, you can, if you want, you can ask something. So, where do we start? First of all, I have done the 12 extended readings for the month of July. So they are available over on Patreon and on Vimeo. They are focused on love. It's a look into you and your person of interest, where I go into in-depth detail about what's going on with you, what's going on with them, the dynamic, how things. Hello, thank you for saying hello, France B. How the dynamic between the two of you plays out and how things will unfold throughout the month of July. And then after the tarot reading, I also pull out runes. That is available by the zodiac sign on 2 platforms. It's available on Patreon for unlimited streaming as a monthly membership, on top of other VIP content. And it's available on Vimeo. Now, on Vimeo, you can get it separately by the zodiac sign. And, oh, good thing I didn't forget. I almost forgot. I know these are some hard time. Hello, Catherine. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So I know these are some challenging times financially for a lot of people. So I decided that I wanted to partake in the collective effort. So the price for the extended love readings that is on Vimeo is half price now. Okay, and I will continue. I will maintain that benefit for as long as as long as it seems necessary and reasonable and fitting. I hope this is helpful. I did keep the prices on Patreon the same. We all need to make a living, right? So, but I hope the Vimeo benefit can be helpful to any of you out there. What else before I get into it? If you're around, if you're watching this either during the live or later in the recording, Lindsay, you have a question, I'll be right with you. If you are around and you feel like you can timestamp, especially the spiritual questions that apply, that can really be helpful for the collective, and answering them can help other people. If you could write down the question and then the timestamp when it occurred. So if someone sees that question like, oh, I want to know what that is about, they can hop there. That would be super awesome. So if you have the time and the willingness, that would be really great. And thank you in advance. What else? Hello, namaste, and happy 4th to you as well. Thank you. I just want to make sure I'm not skipping anything. I think we're good. Obviously, if you're hanging out here, feel free to press the like button and use your beautiful thumbs. Okay. Oh, we have a first question from Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. So as I wrote in the description and in the chat, if you want to ask a spiritual question that applies for the collective, I will likely answer it, of course, depending on time, etc. So, send them in as fast as possible. So I will prioritize the free question. I will prioritize spiritual questions that can be very beneficial to the public. If you want to ask a very specific question that applies just to you, your personal situation in life, and you want me to go into an in-depth reading for you, you can send $45 to PayPal, and you have the link here in the chat and below in the description. It's really easy. It's the Existential Shift. So questions that apply for the collective here on the chat, questions that are specific to you through PayPal, you can write the question in the note. And I will also prioritize general questions with any super chat donation, regardless of the amount. Okay, so if it's a spirit, I'm sorry if I'm reiterating, but it's important for me to be clear, especially for any possible moderators that are here, or if I don't have a moderator here, if you want to serve as a moderator, please feel free to do so and explain new people that are coming in what's going on and what they can do. So spiritual questions that are good for the collective, I will either answer them for free, just write them in the chat, or for super chat if you want to, and specifically personal question that you want me to go in depth with, PayPal. All right, Catherine, I've never asked a personal question yet for you, so I followed instructions above for the fee. Yeah, that's perfect. You did perfect. I'm gonna go into it right now. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the compliment, friends. Okay, so Catherine, let me go into your question. Let me just see. Did you write it in the notes, or did you write it in here and I missed it somehow? Let me scroll up in case you wrote it here. And guys, if you're asking questions about yourself, feel free to add your date of birth. Sometimes it can be very helpful for me to tap into your energy using your date of birth. And write the month with the word, because different people around the world, sometimes we write the month first, sometimes the day first. It depends on where you are in the world. So to avoid confusion, make sure you mention the month in a word and the day in a number. Okay. Oh, so you didn't write your question in the note. So let me see if you asked it here, Catherine. Let's see. I may have missed it. No. Okay, cutie Catherine, what is your question? Greetings from Montenegro. Let's see. Lindsay, I see you asked a question, but it's very personal. So the spiritual questions that can help, that you are interested in, but that are also applicable for other people to benefit from the answers, you can ask here and I will just answer to my best ability. Catherine, it's okay. You can write it here. Just write it anywhere, lady. Write it here. Write it in the chat. And if you want to add your date of birth, that's helpful. Let's see what else. Oh, I know I didn't make the general readings on YouTube by the zodiac sign, but I did do a cute little project. Oh my God, Mercury is fine. It's not in retro. I can't make that excuse. It's me. I can't talk. Sorry. I did make a cute little project. Do They Love You? And it is by the zodiac sign, and it is here on YouTube. So check that one out afterwards as well if you missed it. Catherine, you keep writing messages. None of them includes a question. So just the next thing you type into the chat, just write the question. You wrote like I think you wrote maybe like 4 comments. None of them includes a question. I mean, I appreciate the support. Thank you, but I'd love to help you out in return. Yeah, I'm still not going to dive into your brain to understand what you want to ask. You're going to have to say it. Please don't let the next comment be something other than the actual question. So your birthday is September 20, 1981. That's helpful. Thank you. Okay. Hi, Nopnada. Can't stay. We'll watch later. Cool. But question is, are you having a good summer? What's a lesson you've learned or are learning that you are willing to share? Have a great night. Ooh, the first thing that came to my mind with a lesson that I've learned this summer is it's not something very convenient to hear, unfortunately. It's a conclusion based on the past few years, and also the day that we're celebrating today. That is a day of freedom. I might say it at the end. Thank you for asking that, but I might talk about it at the end. Because it's one of those questions that always get me in trouble with the algorithm. and if you have social media, or if you've been around the planet recently, then you know why a lot of the things I really want to talk about are very hard to talk about, and it's very sad. It's very sad, and let's just say that it's not very freedom oriented. It's the opposite of freedom. I think the Pluto return of the US is, look, you can't really transform something without reaching its absolute depth, like the truth of the situation of it. And sometimes a good look in the mirror of who we truly are deep down inside can be quite painful. And I think that's what America is going through right now. And I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Yes, Black Lotus, absolutely. Okay, Catherine, is this your question? Oh my God, I'm excited. My question is, I've been in love with someone I briefly had a connection with back in spring of 2021. Okay, so it was a year ago. It was very meaningful and was unforgettable. He ghosted 3-4 months later. So ghosting, unfortunately, is a form of emotional abuse that is taking place a lot these days in the collective. You've been healing since, and it's been difficult to date as well. Nothing worked out, so took time to myself since November. Okay, love. And the reason it's so common, ghosting, is a combination of we've become lazy, emotionally lazy as a society, and that's kind of sad. But also because people are not aware that it's emotional abuse. People used to have more accountability to their behavior because things would occur in their environment, right? You would meet someone at your job, at your school, in the neighborhood you would spend time, through your friends. But the world has opened up in such a expansive way, which is a very good thing. It's not a bad thing. But one thing that happened because of that is you get to meet a lot of people, and you're not from the same environment. So it's very easy to disappear and not having to face that person, right? Not having to be accountable for the consequences, right? There's that quote, we're free to make our choices, but we're not free of the consequences. But when it comes to romance and relationships these days, unfortunately, a lot of people are, because a person can't ghost you if they're dating you and you're working with them. It will be important for them to have a very clear conversation, a respectful conversation, to make sure that you end things on a good note, and a respectful note. So that way, when you encounter them in the office or in class at school, or walking around your dog in the neighborhood, if they live close by, then it's not super embarrassing and not awkward, and not, they don't have to face that. And unfortunately, today, a lot of people can just not be accountable. And they take that road, they take that route. So anyone listening, it's really not that conflicted or difficult to even write a basic text message. Of course, the ideal thing to do is to talk face to face, but that also depends on how deep the relationship went. But if you had any form of intimacy, either emotional intimacy and or physical intimacy, especially, even a simple text can do all the difference in the world, right? Letting someone know, having a closure, not having someone waiting on them, right, Catherine? Because if you're asking me this a year later, it means you're stuck. And I'm not saying it with any form of judgment, quite the opposite. I'm saying it with compassion and understanding. But the thing we need to understand today is two things. A, ghosting is a form of emotional abuse. There's another person on the other side that you might not be seeing or interacting with or having to face. So you can tell yourself everything's fine, you're just shunning it out. But in their experience, they went from something to nothing, and it's a shock to the system. Now, it really doesn't matter whether you were committed or not. That's completely irrelevant. If there was a connection and intimacy, you won't do that, right? They wouldn't do that, Catherine, right, to an acquaintance, to a friend. Like, they would have a proper communication, even the most basic one. But for whatever reason, in romance, people feel like it's okay. It's not okay. Because I'll tell you why. Because there's definitions, right? There's first date, then there's dating, then there's either casual or committed, and then there's relationships. There's all that. So people have it in their head that if they're not yet in a specific strong connection, like a relationship or promised, okay, I'm yours, you're mine kind of thing, then it's okay to just bail. So, and admit it, guys, a lot of you out there who are watching me do this, especially empathic people who have difficulty with conflict, people associate an ending or a cutting with a conflict, right? And it is in a way a form of conflict because there's a person on the other side that might not like it. But you are in the world, you're not six. The world comes with constant resistance and constant forms of conflict. But the thing is, we shouldn't look at it as a conflict, as we can simply look at it as making a mature decision. And if the other person on the other side responds dramatically or aggressively or in a way that makes you stress out, well, for that you can text it, and then you are off the hook. Okay, but to just disappear, it's wrong. It's just wrong. Like, we have to learn how to show basic respect and and decency towards one another. So if you do that, know that you're holding a karmic burden, because it's like the ball is in your court. I think I spoke about it in one of my readings. I don't remember. The ball is in your court, right? And I'll get specifically to you, Catherine, to an advice for you, but I want to take advantage of the opportunity to also benefit people who are listening and to talk about the topic. But I will also circle back specifically to you and what we can do for you. Okay? So I'm not evading you. Don't worry. When the ball is in your court and you're not signing off or signing in, whatever the next possible move is, how do I describe it in a way that is most understandable? You owe something energetically, right? Or even social courtesy, human decency, right? You owe something to another person. Being in any form of debt, be it financial debt, be it emotional debt, be it the ball's in my court and I'm choosing to bail. That's a karmic debt that will come back around. First of all, it weakens you energetically. There's a constant buzz of you needing to do something in order to align nature's equilibrium. Okay, there's something imbalanced in the dynamic between you and the other person. And that creates imbalance, lack of equilibrium. And nature always tries to push towards equilibrium. So you'll be at a loss of energy. And nature somehow will give energy to the other person. So, Catherine, first of all, energetically, you will be compensated for it somehow. But just generally speaking, for people out there, when you're ghosting, you become energetically and karmically owed to that person because, first of all, you hurt them. You hurt them. Now, if you say, I'm not interested anymore, that's completely legitimate. I'm not interested anymore. Thank you for your time. I wish you all the best. Like, it could literally be as simple as that. But of course, it depends on the situation and what you feel like you want to say. That's it. You don't owe anything. You were honest. The other person knows what's going on, and whether they like it or not, that's on them now. At this point, if they can't let go, if they insist, if they get mad, that's their energy to deal with. You can either interact or you can also not. You can either play into it or not. That's up to you. But you're free of that debt. Okay, so what happens is people are ghosting, they're hurting, they're creating massive problematic karma for themselves. They create massive pain for others, and hurt people hurt. So when you get hurt, when you get ghosted, you're like, well, everybody's doing it. Why should I explain anything to the next person that I might not be interested? Why should I even say something? I could just not answer. I can just disappear. And it continues, and it literally, I know it sounds dramatic, but I feel like it deteriorates the construct of a healthy society. People don't bother with one another anymore. And that's sad. So, Catherine, that person deals with their karma. Unfortunately, they owe a karmic debt to you that one day will be repaid somehow, maybe in a next lifetime, maybe some other way. You never know the butterfly effect, right? But as for you, let me see what you write here. You were shocked when you did that. Okay, so first of all, to specifically answer your question, if he ghosted you and it's been a year, that's the end of it. I need you to imagine to have a conversation with yourself or a meditation with yourself where you're literally imagining him saying, I'm sorry, thank you for your time. I appreciate you, but I feel like it's not working out for me and it's done. Really meditate on him saying that to you. And then grieve or deal with the ending or with the situation with an acknowledgement that has ended. Because whatever people choose to do, you shouldn't be on the losing end of it. Right? Because you didn't do anything wrong, as far as I know anyway, as far as this conversation goes. So yeah, you say you miss him and you love him, cut it in your head. You can't stay stuck on it. It's not fair to you, really. Just do the meditative thing that I just expressed, and be very vigilant about that, even if it's hard for you, because obviously you still care a lot about him a year later. So do that for yourself and then move on, and then energetically you will open up to someone else, because he's most likely he's already in a different world dynamic. People who ghost are not interested and they just don't know how to say it, and they're scared of conflict. I hate to say this. Usually a lot of times the tendency for us is to like try to romanticize it, give them good reason, imagine how they come back and say all the right things. And of course that's possible. Life is crazy. Something crazy could have happened. And there's a perfectly reasonable explanation. They, God forbid, were in an accident and then they went into a coma and they woke up without a memory. And then 3 months later, they remembered that you exist and they called you. I don't know. Crazy shit can happen, but it's been a year, you know? And even if that's the case, which is rare, usually it's because people are just can't cope emotionally. And they don't want to disappoint. He probably didn't want to disappoint you. He probably didn't want to face the, especially men. It's very important for them to feel valued and respected and admired even. It's a very specific characteristic for men. nothing wrong with that. However, what happens is when they don't want to feel like someone is disappointed with them, they just bail. But that's the irony of it, is the ghosting is way more disappointing and looked down upon than any other uncomfortable conversation, as uncomfortable as it may be. So do the thing that I told you, and then you'll open up. You'll be open to love, and that could happen for you. But my answer is to end things with him, as if you're having the conversation, and move on. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Let me scroll up to see if I missed out on anything. Hi, Danceless Cartes de Sabrina and Head in the Clouds, who are both channel members. So thank you for being here and welcomed. Welcome. Patrick King. Unfortunately, I have ghosted and have been ghosted, though as I was going through some things I could not explain. Well, see, I was going through some things I couldn't explain, so I ghosted. But you don't have to explain. You can be like, hi, I'm going through some things I don't know how to explain and are a bit overwhelming for me to be able to explain. I can't really go into it. However, I just want you to know that that's what I'm dealing with right now. Thank you. So that's why I can't be here for you or sustain this connection. Thank you for the understanding. Bye. Or thank you for the understanding. I will try you when I feel like I have more of the mindset and I'm able. And if you're there and willing, great. And if you're not there, I would understand. You don't have to explain everything. You're entitled to your privacy. You're entitled to your confusion. You're entitled to your maybe. Maybe I need a month to think about it. Whatever it is that is your specific situation. Literally, human beings of the world, my seekers, my seers, my shifters, anything other than ghosting, it's obnoxious. I'm gonna say it like that so you'll stop. And if someone did that to you, no, it doesn't make it okay to do that to another. Be the person who breaks the wheel. Show respect and decency, especially like if someone shows romantic interest in you, like they care about you, they want to give you your time and energy. That's brave and that's scary. And we all know that. It's very brave and very scary to give someone a chance and to try and to open up and to put our heart on our sleeve. It's terrifying. Okay, so just ignoring that, it's also disrespectful to yourself, because it's basically you're telling the universe, well, you're giving me someone who's paying interest in me, who's XYZ and is doing something, they're stepping out of their comfort zone for me, right? And I'm just saying no to that. What are you saying to the universe? You're not interested in someone that respects you and shows up for you. So if at the very least you give them the benefit of the doubt and say something, that's it. You've done your due diligence. Let's see. Catherine, so it's just a one-sided connection. How are you connected still? Just because you're feeling something, okay. So if anyone is timestamping these, the question is, well, if it's one-sided, how come I feel so strongly? And this is something that empaths fall to that pit a lot, because, well, I'm spiritual, I am intuitive, I am connected. Hence, if I'm feeling something, someone else might be feeling it. Unfortunately, sometimes things are one-sided. Sometimes you can feel something deeply to someone and it's not reciprocative, and it's not mutual. If it was mutual, think about every single time you ever had feelings for someone. You wanted to talk to them. When they reached out to you, you answered, or you at least tried to reach out. Especially when you knew that they were interested, right? And if he's not interacting with you, if he's not showing up, he's not there. Okay. And if he is interested in you and that's how he shows interest, by not being there for you at all, why would you want that kind of relationship? You want a relationship, a love connection with someone who's able to care about you and show you that they care about you. I care about you and I love you, but I don't want to talk for a year. Okay. Fun. Exciting. So romantic. Oh my God, I feel so special. Catherine, even if it's mutual, it's not something that is good for you. But I'm just saying, like, just to explain this to you, but it's very possible to have a strong connection to someone and it's be on our side. Okay, sometimes we connect to someone emotionally just for us to go through that psychological process of realizations and growth and stepping out of codependency and being able to stand up for ourselves and set healthy boundaries and be like, I'm moving on, right? Dan slash Cartes de Sabrina. I'm just going to say Sabrina from now on, if that's okay. The one who ghosts in general is the one that needs to have to learn to deal with some personal stuff. Very true. They will ghost or do whatever the repetitive behavior that stops them in their growth. RB, I am a Taurus. I'm a Taurus sun. Let's see if I missed out anything in the chat or anything from... No, not yet. Okay. I'm going to scroll up the chat to see if I missed any question, and please feel free to write anything else. Nike Blachova. What was the breaking point you discovered you are spiritually gifted? What are the signs? I'm sorry, I came here right now. Just wanted to ask you, facing some challenges by myself. So basically your question is, Nike, when or how I discovered that I'm spiritually gifted. Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. That's an interesting question. Let's think. I think by putting myself out there with things that I'm passionate about, like talking about spirituality, and then in turn receiving reciprocation and confirmation. So, for example, when I started learning tarot a very long time ago, when I was 20, not that long ago. Anyway, I started formally studying tarot. I was into it way before that when I was growing up, but I started learning tarot specifically when I was 20. And then I started just doing readings for people. And the response was incredible. Like the levels of accuracy and the advice that I was giving, the way people responded to me, both back then and in the years to come. And then, of course, here on my channel, when I do readings and I get subscribers and I get people, buying my products and purchasing my extendeds and commenting how things resonate. It's by receiving the reflection from the outside of how what I do and say affects people. That's what gave me the, if you want to say, the stamp of confirmation. But it kind of dates back to it. When I was a kid, I used to have very intense dreams, lucid dreams, where I would step outside of I was quite aware of the fact that I'm dreaming, that I'm sleeping, and I was aware that I'm dreaming, and I had control of the dream. That's what lucid dreaming is. And I would just go into astral travels. I would fly and I would visit all kinds of places. And one creepy thing that once happened to me, I thought I was just having fun. I didn't even know that it was real. I thought I was dreaming, thinking that I know that I'm dreaming. I wasn't sure. And and one time I was very little. I was like in elementary school, and I went to sleep, and I had like this astral project. I just came out of my body and started traveling and flying, and I was like, I'm going to visit my friend. I had a good friend in class. Okay, I'm going to visit her in her house. I knew where she lives. obviously, because I would spend a lot of time there. So I went there, and she was actually awake, and I saw her do something in her room. And then I woke up in the morning, cool dream, and I went to school. And as a joke, I told that friend, oh, you were doing this and that last night. And she was like, oh, how did you know? She freaked out. And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, that was real. Oh, it wasn't my imagination. I was actually there. Now, to unfreak out all of you out there, I don't currently do that. I haven't been able to do that for years. I kind of suppressed that ability because I've had so many experiences that were very traumatizing and scary for a little girl. So I asked to not do that anymore. So I don't do that. And today, even if somehow I go back to doing that, I won't do that to anyone, because today I know that it's invasive. Like, just like I wouldn't go into someone's window uninvited and like knock on the door, like look at them because it's creeper, I wouldn't do that in my sleep. Same thing. If I have respect, like my respect applies both in the material world and in the spiritual world. Okay, I hope that answered your question, and thank you for asking me that, Nike. Let's see. Because as I talk, you guys write, so I need to scroll back up to see what I missed. Lindsay, I don't know if you're still here. Where is your career going, social work or law school? If you want to write me your date of birth, maybe I can tap into something, and maybe not. I'm not sure. I'll try. Okay, because if you send the PayPal thing, then I will pull cards, but I might be able to tap in just based on your numbers. We can try. I don't know if you're still here. Let's continue scrolling. Sorry if it's taking me a moment. So, Patrick, you asked, what do you think of the concise? I don't know. What do you think of the concise slavery the collective is addicted to? I'm not sure I understand the question. I pray and continue to love those who don't know they are deceived. I did a video about the collective being deceived, the 13th element. It's called Oneness Consciousness versus Kami. Okay, I'll just say that word. And it kind of, I think it applies to your question, if I understand your question. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure that I understand your question. I don't know if I understand your question. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep scrolling. I'm not gonna just say something for the sake of saying something. Scrolling down. Sorry, I feel like I'm being so slow. Nike, I learned tarot right now, and people say women in our family are witches. Sometimes weird things happen around me. And thank you for the answer. I don't know if you know this, but I have an online tarot masterclass Bunkai. It's 90 pre-recorded classes that I created that you can have either as the entire online course and go chronologically, or you can rent out separate classes like a library, like an online library. Every card has a specific class that teaches about that card, and then there's extra classes, of course, to connect the dots. So if you're interested in learning tarot from me, feel free to check out Tarot Masterclass Bunkai. It's the link to that. It's on Vimeo, and the links are beneath every single one of my videos. And you'll also be going through a shamanic journey with me, because I've been filming those classes throughout about 2 years, the duration of 2 years, 2018 and 2019. During that time, I was myself undergoing a journey through the underworld. I was doing a 6 months road trip. I lost my dog. I lost everything. And then I rebuilt everything. And you see me throughout different places, different states, different cities, different houses, outdoors, indoors, filming the classes, I mean. And so as I'm going through the shamanic journey of chemical rebirth, I can't think of a better way to frame this. You'll be going through something not similar. I'm not saying you're going to lose everything and have to work for everything like I did, but because I went through such depth, it added such deep levels to my teachings. So it's literally like I teach through fire. Me going through that fire. Don't worry. I went through that fire for you. And I chose this journey. What can I say? Okay. Missy. Hi, Missy. Missy Gordon is another channel member. Thank you for being here. Do you find that animals speak to you in your everyday life as messages? Curious your thoughts on animal totems outside of the cards. Yes. So do animals interact with me as messengers, regardless of the animals, of the cards? Sorry. I can't answer for them if they do that intentionally in relation to me specifically, or maybe they just exist and it kind of aligns with what I need to learn in the moment, right? But I definitely look at them all the time. Whatever animals I interact, I definitely observe their behavior. If there's an outstanding pattern or something that they do that is outside their regular behavior, or specifically, let's say a bird lands on my balcony, right? Or gets exceptionally close to me, or if I think about something in that moment and then that animal crosses me and I know the meaning of the animal, the shamanic meaning of the animal, and that way I can connect the dots. But I can tell you that from my place, I always look at animals as messengers of the divine, and that they carry great wisdom, that I am always trying to learn from and see if there's something that they're trying to say. But it applies to my life and everything. I try to read into everything. I can't really say that I try. It's kind of a second nature at this point. I observe everything that happens around me, and especially give it meaning if it somehow aligns with something I'm going through or something that I have a question mark in my head. So to make a long story short, the answer is yes. And thank you for your question. Mamacita Clarkson, hello. Is the opportunity for asking questions still available through PayPal? Yes, it is. You may send your question. Thank you for asking. If so, would you like to leave the question on the PayPal mail? Please do. Definitely, you can absolutely write it in the note, and you can feel free to write it here as well. But it will be the easiest and the fastest if, as I receive it, I also see it in the note. So yeah, go for it. Yeah, she loves North. Please do my question. Do my question because you seem very. What is your? I didn't. Maybe I skipped it. Write it again. You're welcome, Missy. What do cardinal birds mean? So cardinal, the cardinal bird, and you're referring to the red cardinal, right? So, or maybe you're referring to them in general. Okay. Cardinal birds, the males are red and the females tend to be gray. And cardinal birds, in short, there's a very specific interpretation to them. They are representative of the masculine. Oh my God, why can't I speak this so weird? The masculine archetype in your life, a patronage of some sort, a father, a teacher, a Jupiterian influence, a mentor, a husband, an important man in your life if you're a woman, or if you're drawn to men, a man that is influential to you. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. It could be in a romantic way if you're into men, but it could be in a paternal, influencing, teaching, mentoring aspect. It can also mean that a father figure that has passed away is watching over you. So if you've lost a loved man in your life, and a cardinal suddenly pops in front of you in nature on your balcony, and they're bright red and they're just kind of, in your space, especially if you just thought of someone like that, then it's definitely a sign from a loved one that they're watching and taking care of you and proud of you. That's the red cardinal. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, let's see. What else? Morgane, have you had a near-death experience? Thoughts on those who are witness to the beyond? There were several times in my life where I almost died. That I was at the precipice of, meaning at the danger of. As a kid, I nearly drowned once. And it was like when I was very little in a like after school thing at the beach with a lot of other kids. And the person, it wasn't a teacher, it wasn't in a school situation, it was like an after class thing, like a fun club thing. But the instructor or the person responsible last minute, like I was swirling, I was taken by I forget how you call those. Anyway, it's very vivid. I really remember being underwater and not being, because I was very small, and not being able to reach above water and swirling. And he literally pulled me out of the water, and I was already like out of breath, feeling like losing my consciousness. So I vividly remember almost drowning. I served in the IDF in the military and on the way to an operation once. And it was it wasn't an operational drive. It was a regular drive on the way somewhere. I was so tired because I was attending 2-3 operations a day on average. It was at a time where Israel is always under constant threat, unfortunately, but it was very intense at that time. A lot of terror attacks and a lot of events and a lot of bad guys to prevent of doing really, really terrible things on a daily basis. So I was on the way to and from on a regular every day, and I would sleep on the way. Like I barely slept. I was always on call. The specific job description that I was doing at the time. And I remember I was at the back. There was another person driving in the front, and I was sitting in the back seat, and I fell asleep, and my head was leaning on the windshield. And the miracle is that we chose to drive a shielded vehicle that day that looks regular, but the windows were shielded of bullets or anything. And a Palestinian teenager, okay, grabbed, and it was just a regular drive, again, nothing operational even, just grabbed a very big rock. It's a big thing now, and it was a big thing then, and threw it at the windshield exactly where my head was leaning. And he aimed, it was purposeful, at my head. And it was a very big rock, very strong throw. If it was a regular windshield, the window would have cracked and it would absolutely break my head and kill me for sure. But because it was shielded, it just made a very, very loud sound, obviously. And I woke up and we immediately drove far away. And yeah, so if you hear on the news, oh, they threw a rock and so they were held in custody, that's an attempt of murder. Throwing a rock at someone's head is an attempt to kill them. Hopefully you'll never learn what it's like to get that to your head. And it can also, when you throw it at a car, it's intentionally to get it off. And they do it to civilians. I was a soldier at the time, but they do it to civilians all the time. Okay, let me block someone here that is being a troll. How do I hide? Let's just hide them. Okay. So that was one of those occasions. What else? I had many times that it's like, I had 2 events, car events. Sabrina, it's Morgane with an E at the end. Well, thank you, love. What was I saying? Another near-death experience. So when I was in Ireland, when I was 22, I worked as a oil painting framer, which was really cool. I had lots of appointments, all kinds of places throughout Ireland, and I drove a big truck with frames at the back, and I would go to clients' homes, and they would choose a frame, and then I would frame their painting and hang it on their wall. It was fun. I think I told this story, but I was driving all day long because I had meetings all every day throughout the day, from early morning to early night, and I was sleep deprived because I worked a lot. So I drove one night and I fell asleep at the wheel, and I woke up to a crazy horn. The car, because what happened is I slipped to the other lane with cars coming from the other side. And I woke up from the horn with a car driving head towards me. And last minute, I went back to the lane. But the thing is, to the side of, on my lane, there was already another way bigger truck to my side that was blocking me from going back to the lane safely. So I had to so in Ireland, they drive on the left side of the road. So that's why. So a car to my left, where I'm supposed to be, where my right lane is, a car coming ahead of me, honking at me, and I just did this last minute. Otherwise, I would have bumped them head in. And also, something similar happened to me recently driving, but it wasn't my fault. I didn't fall asleep at the wheel. Just a car smashed into another car, smashed into another car in front of me, and they all just swirled in the middle. It was pouring rain, and I managed to somehow evade all of them, driving through them. It was also a miracle. So I think if I think about it, I could come up with other situations where I was very close to it. Okay, went into it too much. um, let's see. Yeah, she loves North. If you want to do that, it's probably the time to send the question, because I didn't get your question to PayPal. Not yet, anyway. It's been some time. So, guys, if you want to send a question, you might want to do it now. Well, you didn't send. Yeah, she loves. You didn't send anything. So until you send something, I'm not going to respond to you, because I feel like you're trying to play me, and I don't like that. Lisa, I'm from Ireland. Wow, you were so lucky, because, yeah, Ireland has very small road. Oh, there you are. Got you. Ireland has very small road. I remember very narrow ones. It was crazy. Oh, thank you, Marie Brushy. Oh, that's someone else. Okay. So hi, Marie. If you're here, say hello. I'm not sure what your name here on the chat is, because I didn't see a Marie. But you're writing it here, so that's okay. Oh, it's Mamacita. You sent your question? Great. And Mrs. Doubtfire, you also sent. I only got Catherine, which I already answered. And now I just got Marie Brushy. Which one is Marie? Oh, you're Marie Mamacita? Okay, so you're now. How does my future career endeavors look? I'm trying to create passive income as well as helping others with mental health and trauma. Does this look successful? Thank you. So what is your passive income in? Is your passive income to do with your mental health trauma assistance to people, or with a different career endeavor? So, make it more condensed for me. Ask me a specific question, because this is a little bit general. Orange River, that's crazy. My mother also climbed out of the stomach of a... Okay. Some people are really hungry for attention, and it's really sad. I'm sorry for you. But we don't need this, so we're going to just hide it. Hide it. Morgane, what is your advice to connect to your guides and angels? Okay. Okay, so Mamacita. Thank you, Black Lotus Oracle, for blocking him. I appreciate that. And wait, who did you block? I'm confused. Oh, you're not a moderator. I'm sorry. I thought you were. Are you? I'm so confused right now because my channel members have symbols next to their names, but also channel moderators have them, and sometimes I confuse the two. So sorry. Hi, Maggie. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, so let me answer Marie, Mamacita, who's clarified, yes, with coaching for mental health. Let's pull runes for you. Not runes, tarot. I have the runes right here, by the way, if anyone is interested. Black Lotus, I'm going to make you a moderator. And to be a moderator, literally all you have to do is moderate. Ask people to do the things that we need them to do on a live reading. Explain to them how it works. If they don't understand, you can read the description box and the message that I pinned up in the chat to understand, and just write it in the chat and clarify things to people as to how to do things. Okay. So Marie, question about her career. Message for Marie about her career. Advice and guidance. Okay, for Marie about her career. Marie, Mamacita, coaching for mental health. Advice for her on her work. Okay. Okay. So I got 7 of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and 9 of Cups. So basically, the guidance, Marie, is to have several different projects. Like, be really okay with having multiple projects, doing a few things and putting energy and creativity to several things, and see what blossoms. Like, plant seeds in different things. And the most important thing is that whatever it is that you're planting seeds in, that these are things that you're passionate about, that you enjoy, that give you emotional fulfillment and gratification and a return of some sort, even if not yet financial return, at the very least emotional and spiritual return that makes you feel fulfilled. The King of Wands is project oriented. He does really well. He builds something, then he moves on to the next, and then he builds something, and then he moves on to the next. And this is about putting seeds. So you can actually do really well, but don't worry right now about passive income. That will come later. Right now, build that for the future by setting in really strong foundations with your work, by having a schedule, by having a very specific work routine, by doing the things you really love doing, by doing several things at once. It's perfect. Awesome. That's what I've been planning. Great. That's good. Wait, I need to the battery is low, so I want to. Be right there. Okay, let's plug that baby in. There we go. Now my computer is happy. Okay. All right. Did you get your question answered? Did you get your answer questioned? I'm just doing great today. Did you get your answer questioned? I love your channel, by the way. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. I really appreciate that, and you're most welcome. Catherine, you thought there will be cards. Well, I either tell you the answer if I know it, or if I need assistance from the cards, then I pull cards. The answers that I give are about the answer, right? And keep in mind that every reader, myself included, but that applies to every divination caster, it always helps us give you an answer when we need the help. But I also channel, and I also just know the answer to certain questions. Your person is not going to simply knock on your door. He's gone for a year. A year, he ghosted you. And if I act like, oh, I don't know what the answer to that, I will be doing you a disservice, and I will be disrespecting you if I will do that. And if he does, what kind of a person disappears for a year without saying anything and then comes back? Is that a man you can trust? Is that a man you can trust? You asked about love. I gave you guidance for love. And these are spiritual questions. I'm sorry if you're not pleased, but I gave you my best. And actually, more than that, I spend about 20 minutes on you. So this is me setting boundaries. Okay? Like literally 20 minutes into making sure that you really, really understand the mechanism behind that behavior. It's not like it's been a month and something could have happened. It's been a year. I'm listening to you. I'm actually reading your question. Okay? I have no background for the career question that she asked me, and it could have gone anywhere. So the cards directed it. But your question gave enough information. The cards are an instrument of support. They are not the answer. This is not the answer. This is a bridge. This is a language. And if you can walk the bridge with your feet, great. If you need crutches, great. Sometimes I channel, sometimes I just know, and I don't need this. When you book sessions with me, by the way, when you book private sessions with me, very little cards are out on the table, sometimes not at all. Sometimes when I look at someone's face and I just know, it just comes to me. And also, yeah, I use my brain and my knowledge to advise. Everything you hear from me, it's not the cards telling you everything in the readings. It's me. It's me. I carry wisdom. I carry knowledge. I carry clarity. I carry insight. I told you how to detach and get the lesson. I gave you very specific homework. And I'm not going to give you a second longer than my energy. I'm sorry. This is very rude. Okay. So let's see if anyone else had a question. Wait. Did I answer the question? Yeah, I did, right? With Marie. Okay, good. Good. Thank you, Marie. Hope this was helpful. Lisa Ryan. Morgane, my aunt is dying. I'm really sorry. Doctors are stopping all medications tomorrow. She held my hand yesterday saying she wants to die. If you know, how long does it take for me to talk to her after her passing? So you're basically asking, well, first of all, Lisa, I'm really sorry for what you're experiencing. Loss is an incredibly difficult process. And just to clarify, grief is a nonlinear process. Okay. As for your question specifically, you want to know how long it will take to you to speak to her after her passing. You're basically, I feel like you're referring to the process of the soul, what the soul goes through after passing. I can only tell you based on my observation, more so perspective. Okay, different souls have very different length of time of passage, and also they go through different things. What do I mean by that? I don't believe all souls reincarnate. I don't believe all souls become, spirit guides or angel guides for their loved ones. And I don't believe all souls move on. I think some souls stay stuck in this plane because of either trauma, if the death was very traumatizing and surprising, which I believe it won't be the case with your aunt, because it seems like something she knows is coming and she wants to happen and she's been preparing for. And if you're holding her hand, it means she has a loved one to carry her. So I don't think that's the case with her, thankfully. But for whatever reasons, different souls sometimes stay in this plane. And that could be who knows how long. That depends on their process of moving forward. There are ceremonies that can be done to help spirits that are stuck. And then putting that aside, because I don't think that's the case, I'm just saying that for general knowledge, your aunt in within the structures of my belief system. Okay, it's within the structure of my belief system, is either going to be reincarnated to another life form to continue her journey to connect with God and the divine by experiencing this plane from as many different perspectives as possible. And in that case, as soon as she reincarnates, what you can contact is more so her higher self. That we're always bigger than just this avatar, and our soul is way bigger than just the extension that is within our psyche, right? So you could possibly connect to her higher self. That is an aspect of her, but I don't know if you'll necessarily be able to find her and her reincarnation. I don't think we're told that. Sometimes we can feel that if someone reincarnates as another family member, as a youngster, for example. And then another choice, and that depends on your aunt's spiritual consciousness. Another option outside of reincarnation is that she becomes an angel or a spirit guide or what's the word? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting a word. I think you're getting my point, though. As for the time frame, it really, really changes because she goes into a realm where the Newtonian laws of physics don't apply, right? They don't experience time like we do. So the process that can feel for her soul like a long time can be no, it's the opposite. Something that can feel very fast for her soul can take a long time here. So the most responsible, honest answer that I can give to your very good question is that I don't think any of us is qualified to say specifically a certain time frame that takes all souls, because it's very subjective. What I can say is that you will feel. What you can do is send out an intent to your own spirit guides, and saying, when my aunt is capable and ready to communicate with me, I am welcoming it. I open the door, maybe to come to you in a dream, maybe in other ways of messages, but clarify to spirit that you're open. And you can even tell her, if you have a chance to communicate with her, tell her, I'm open for you to talking to me once you pass on. I want to leave the door open and I want to hear from you. And then you will feel. Thank you, Morgane. This is very helpful. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay, I gave you the most, I don't like playing with people's psyche and hearts and things that are so meaningful and intense. So it's not a specific answer, but it's the best answer that I can give you. Black Lotus. Okay, I understand. Thank you. Let's see. Catherine, it wasn't dismissive. And now I'm picking up on a channel message that there's a level of, and I'm not saying this to hurt you, quite the opposite. I'm giving you more of my time to help you. You're not going to see it like that. You're not going to translate it like that. It's going to get you upset and you're going to think I'm the bad person. But it needs to be said to you. And I actually am saying this with love, Catherine. The person didn't exactly ghost you. He tried to tell you in many, many different ways, but you didn't get it. So it's not a standard case of ghosting. And it's based on your behavior now. I see the pattern and then I get the message. There's a level of a combination of codependency, which again, it doesn't make you a bad person. A lot of people are dealing with that, especially in the empaths world. Okay, so I'm not saying this in any way as judgment or as offense. Okay, I'm saying it as a reflection to help you, hopefully. It's a combination of codependency and abandonment issues. You just can't accept no. You don't accept no as an answer. And you don't have healthy boundaries. You were never taught healthy boundaries, which is why you don't have healthy boundaries. Nothing that I'm saying here is there's nothing wrong with you. Just to be very, very clear, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. But I do recommend therapy. And to understand two things. A, he's not a bad guy. B, you're not a bad person too. None of you is the bad person, okay? But C, he left because he didn't want to stay there anymore. And D, you need emotional guidance from a therapist. Because what you're doing is, in turn, you're becoming the energetic vampire. And you don't take no for an answer, which makes you the offender, unfortunately. And I know you don't want to be the offender in your life. I know you're a good person and you want to do good. And you can, because you have all the talent and all the skill and all the beauty in you to be able to do that. But there's so much pain there and lack of ability to truly see yourself that you're preventing yourself from tapping into all that beauty within you. So please go and dissect all of that emotionally and psychologically. You need psychological work, not spiritual work. Okay? And this was me giving you even more of my time, way beyond. And I know you're not going to see it right now because you're in a place of, I'm sorry to say this, of a form of a succubus energy. And that's why he left. Not saying it as blaming. You're in an emotional place that needs guidance and help. And you deserve that and you're worthy of that. Okay? Hopefully one day you'll be able to see that I'm not the bad guy here. All right. Let's see what else. Lisa, thank you, Morgane. Yes, my aunt's passing is hard. Sincerely appreciate your honesty and answer. Thank you. Sabrina. Okay, let me see if I missed anything else. If anyone else has a question, please let me know. And I do hope someone will timestamp this because now I'm thinking about it. I'll want to edit parts of it and post them as separate videos. Like the question about the passing and the communication, the question about the ghosting. Like we had some good stuff here that I feel like we can use. And if someone will timestamp this for me, I will be able to know when it happened, because I am unable to watch myself in retrospect. It's very hard for me to watch my videos. I don't like doing that. And I also don't have time for this because it's very long. So if you're here already and you're timestamping, thank you. Vanya, you have a question? Just ask. Sabrina, you have the option to block, but it's not my channel and I'm not a moderator. Okay. Oh, if you want to be a moderator, I can make you a moderator. The thing is, you guys, being a moderator means you actually have to moderate. Explain to people what they need to do in order to get a reading, or clarify things, or ask them to like the video, stuff like that. If you don't do that, then there's not much of a point. And if you don't want to do that, which is perfectly fine, you don't have to, then you don't need to be one. So if you want to be one, show me that you want to by doing the things, and then I'll just make you one. That's pretty much the best way to do that, because I don't want to make someone who doesn't want to do these things. You know, some of you just want to chill and watch the video and not want to explain things to other people. But it is very helpful for me to have a moderator on live chats. Vanya, I've been learning to set boundaries, but find it quite lonely now. The tricky passageways of in between. When you set boundaries to people and then they don't like it because they enjoyed your presence as long as they were able to cross those boundaries. I'm no longer in distress and constant protect myself mode, but I had feelings so distant from my family and friends. Yeah, that is one of the most, it's a difficult part where you stand up for yourself, you set clear boundaries, but then people drop out. First, unfortunately, it serves as confirmation that you did the right thing by setting boundaries to them, because if by setting boundaries to someone, if by telling them, hey, this hurts me, and instead I need this, and they don't want to or don't care or can't, then that's confirmation that they weren't good to you or good for you. And it also serves as confirmation that they don't want to make the effort to change things or correct things or try differently. And that sucks. That's one of the painful parts of setting boundaries. And it takes patience. And yes, it does come with a time frame of some loneliness. But in this time, you're basically echoing a different self to the universe. And in turn, it will mirror it back to you. Okay? Because right now you are a person who cares and loves yourself enough to not allow people to cross your boundaries. And you are very clear with your actions as to what you want in your life. So it takes some time for the wheels to turn, right? The message is already sent loud and clear, but now reality needs to align, right? It starts in spirit and then it manifests in matter. So it will take some time until new people will start presenting themselves into your life. New people will come through. Or people that dropped to the sidelines will come back saying, you know what? Now I want to show up for you. Sometimes they have to go through their journey and their process. But that takes a time frame of loneliness. In that time, continue the meditation, continue self-awareness, continue working on yourself. Take a class that you enjoy, study something that fulfills you, do something that you always wanted to do, right? And maintain that level of consciousness, okay? And other people that align more with what is important to you will come. We can't force anyone to do something they don't want to do. We can't force someone to respect our boundaries, to do something they don't want to do, to stop something they are consistent with. If someone, all they like to do is go out and party every night and it exhausts you, you have the right to not hang out with them anymore, but they have the right to do whatever is good for them, So sometimes it means that you can't have that person in your life, unfortunately. But it's a part of the process, and good job, and I'm proud of you, and keep up the good work. And it's going to continue being lonely for a while. Sorry. Read good books. I know it sucks. But the good news is that you're doing it, you're very empowered, you're on the right track, and on the other side of it, there are really great, amazing friends. And that will be a lot more fun. Vanya, all my manifestation have been occurring unbelievable quickly, but manifesting better relationship just seems to be taking its time, because usually relationship issues comes from deep childhood traumas, pain, events, and though that's like an onion that is a constant peeling, layer after layer. So that takes more time, and that's okay. Be easy on yourself. You're doing great. Let's see. Thank you, Black Lotus, for this. I appreciate it. If you guys want a quick general message for you, personal for you, or just a one card, you can also do a super chat. That's also perfectly fine. We can play with it. But I did write in the caption spiritual Q&A. So the spiritual questions that you want to know about spirituality and that are good for the collective, just here in the chat for absolutely free. I'm going to go back up for a second to see if we're at 1 hour and 20 minutes in. Wow. Time flew. Okay. I don't know how long I'll stay. Sabrina, I'm going to make you a moderator just because you're a sweetheart and you said you want to, but it's up to you if you want to do it. But I made you one. Angel, if you want, you can try to write me your date of birth, and maybe I can tap into something through your numbers. I'm just staring at the screen at the moment, aren't I? What else I can tell you that I haven't told you? The general readings by the zodiac sign will resume for August. So I will do readings for Leo season, and I appreciate the understanding. Anyone who's watching. So Angel, you are January 8th, 1993. 1-8, Tisha, A quiet soul, great live stream. Oh, thank you. So Angel, as I said, private specific readings are through PayPal, but I see you either can't or won't, but I'm trying to maybe help with telling you something based on your numbers, based on your date of birth, that is general for you. So I won't necessarily be asking about specifically what you're asking me, but so I can tell you, generally speaking, regardless of the person you're asking about, Angel, that you're here leading a very karmic life. There are a lot of events that seem very fated and very intense. that you're meant to learn a lot from. Now, yes, that applies to everyone in general. However, not everyone has such level of karma, right? But the good news is that these incredible amount of karmic events in your life are meant to make you a very strong person and a very knowledgeable person that can do really, really big things. And I think right now the reason why you're asking about a reconciliation with someone is because you're relatively, well, you're about to reach 30, right? I think you're going through your Saturn return, I feel like, based on your age. Yeah, you're like 29, right? Or 30? 29, almost 30. And this is in specific a very karmic time, your karmic return, your Saturn return, which is a karmic return. Just pay close attention to everything in your life. And it's going to be hard to do what I'm about to say. So I'm not saying it with patronizing you. And I know it's not easy, but that's just a general guidance. Every event that happens to you, good or bad, try to look at it like you're looking at a computer game from the outside and really understand the lesson and analyze the lesson there. Because that's what it exists. Right? I bet that this person that you're dealing with, that's not your true love. That's not your person for the long run. There's something there for you to learn from it, and kind of achieve karmic equilibrium through. Okay? So I hope this is helpful vicariously, at least. Let's see if I missed out on anything. Nike, August 9th. I hope you're in the entertainment industry, because you need to be you're probably very, very, very communicative and very charismatic. Nike, the August 9th, 1974. Maybe you're a public speaker of some sort. If you're not, you should be a public speaker. You can work very well with crowds, with big crowds. Nike, August 9th. You're very good with big audiences, and you can really make everyone still interested for a long period of time. Mamacita, who is Marie, I remember. Are you able to see what spiritual gifts others have? Sorry if that's a weird question. It's not a weird question. I can. Sometimes. Sometimes it comes to me, sometimes it doesn't. I can, I have this ability to see into people's talents and skills and know what they can do really well. And I think talent is a spiritual gift. So I would say that yes. Yes, I can. I hope that answered your question. And no, it's not a weird question at all. It's a cool question. Thank you for asking. I'm going to do another little scroll up in case I missed anything. Oh, Black Lotus, thank you so much. You missed the P in the HTTP. So I'm gonna help out with it as well, but thank you for doing that. Existential shift. Mamacita, yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I wrote it in the description box and in the pinned comment on top. First of all, guys, let's be honest here. What kind of a YouTuber that you'll ask them, do you accept super chat, will tell you no? I mean, it's a great way to support us. You don't really need to ask that. Just generally speaking, applies to me and applies to your other creators. If someone goes live and you want to support them with super chat, support them with super chat. You don't need to ask them. Just give them. It will be. I'm sure they'll be happy about it, and I don't think they'll say no. And if they don't want it, then they have the option. They probably didn't turn it on in the first place. So if you have it technically, if you have the option technically there, then it means that the creator turned it on. And if someone turned it on, then they like it. So yeah, definitely possible. Felicia, hi, how was your day? Oh, thank you. My day was, I actually woke up, I intended to drive somewhere to a city and just have a day in that city and just go around, walk around and visit some sites. And I ended up waking up late and then I just didn't. And I ended up doing this live instead. Yeah, that was my day pretty much. You're new, but I seem great. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. The lighting, it's getting a bit less sunny outside, so the lighting is a bit funky. I'm sorry if I look like half light, half dark. Let's see. Let me scroll up. I'm just scrolling up the chat in case you're wondering what I'm doing to see if I missed out any questions. If you're watching this, by the way, and you're trying to type into the super chat, into the chat, but you can't, it's because if you subscribe, you'll be able to write. It means that you're not subscribed. Yeah, I do have that fun left for another day. I agree. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. We'll see. Black Lotus, September 12th, 1992. Oh, wait, I have a super chat, so hold on. It's Mamacita. Okay, thank you for the 1999. I truly appreciate that. It's very kind. I'm interested in what you see as some of my gifts. Did you write me your date of birth? If no, please write me your date. Write me your date of birth, please. Month. Write the month with the word. Okay, write the month with the word, and then the day is a number, and then the year. April 21st, 1976. Are you a Taurus or an Aries? Felicia, if you have a spiritual question that applies for the collective, you don't have to do anything. You can just ask it. It's absolutely for free. Anything that is a spiritual question that can help anyone else as well on top of just you is for free. Okay. Let me see your numbers, your date of birth. Oh, you did write it to me. I'm so sorry. Sorry. April 21st. Give me 1 second, okay? Okay. So 3, 4, 5. 21 is 3. April is 4. 1976 sums down to 23, which is 5. So that has meaning in and of itself to have a chronological rotation of numbers in your date of birth. 3, 4, 5. That's kind of cool. And you're a Taurus. Your spiritual gifts. That's what you're asking, right? Anything that has to do with simultaneous. What do I mean? It's not really good for you to do just one thing and uber focus on that. And I think I touched that a little bit in your other question that you had. It's really good for you to do things simultaneously in little groups. So to not have one big group that you're only on, and to not just have one-on-one or one thing that you do for a long period of time, that doesn't work well for you. You need to do a lot of things simultaneously because you're very creative and your mind is all over the place. but it's not something to suppress or to stop or to focus. That is your gift. Being able to do multiple things at once, to have different skills, to have different talents. It all connects somehow, right? All of these things somehow connects, and you can do a lot of good stuff with it. Hold on, I wanna. Oh, that's better. The lighting was it was blinding me. And creativity. So even if you're a data analyst, which I know you're not, you already told me you're a therapist, but even if you are doing something technical, right? You can put a creative oomph to it. Never suppress it. Okay. Always let it kind of shine and fly. Like if you have a burst of energy, go exercise, write this, do that. Just let it play out. That is your talent. And unfortunately, that type of talent is oftentimes being judged as inability to focus or being all over. No. It's a talent. Okay. Yes, like a creative flow. In the word of Abraham Hicks, it's being in the vortex. Okay, you just, but your vortex is simultaneous on several levels, because you have a multi. How do I word this? You have a multi-level existence. You can be here and there at the same time. Your mind is capable of doing two things at once. Oh, sorry, I just shook the entire table. So you should just go with that and strengthen it. Does that help? Also, I'm picking up maybe something with painting. I don't know if you sketch or if you write something creative, like a creative font. It's not as much as in and out of other dimensions, just in this dimension, in this creative, I mean, could be, but what I was tapping into is several levels of this dimension of like, utilizing both your right lobe and your left lobe, right? Being both linear and abstract, both the frame and the painting, right? In the box and outside of the box, seeing the little details and the big picture. You're multifaceted. And you should definitely utilize it. Definitely utilize it. It doesn't contradict in and out of dimension. It doesn't contradict doing shamanic work and tapping into different dimensions, but it's not specifically what I tapped into when it comes to your questions about your gift. Maria, I hope this was helpful. Scrolling through the chat. Sorry, guys. I don't think I missed out anything, right? If guys, if you feel like I missed out on something, like maybe you asked a while ago and it was a general question that could work with the collective, feel free to write it again. Thank you, super helpful and made me smile. Great, that's nice to hear. No one has ever mentioned the 345. Yeah, well now you have something unique in your date of birth, 345. Lisa, I've been slowly learning to read tarot cards, but my confidence is pretty low, not wanting to be wrong or hurt someone. My date of birth is September 29, 19. Can you tell me if I'm on the right path? Lisa, you already know the drill here. If you want to ask a private question versus if you ask a spiritual question. You guys already know the drill. If you want other people to respect your boundaries, respect other people's boundaries. That includes mine. Guming, do you get negative thoughts from time to time like other people do? And how do you personally deal with it? First of all, I am other people as well. Absolutely. Just like anyone else, I deal with everything everyone is dealing with. I have my own insecurities. I have my own issues, my own challenges. I have my own question marks. I actually did a video about, do tarot readers read for themselves? Can they read for themselves? You might want to watch that because it kind of humanizes the spiritual teacher or the reader. Uh, don't be sorry, Lisa. You're good. No worries. It kind of humanizes us in a way. Yes, I definitely sometimes have negative thoughts. I sometimes get very angry. I sometimes get very sad. I sometimes get annoyed. I sometimes get impatient. All the human stuff. I am in no way, shape, or form different from you in that respect. I'm not better than you. I am just as human. I'm just a person, having my wisdom, my knowledge, my expertise, my experiences, and I convey them to the world, just like many other people do in their fields, what they've studied, what they know, what they're gifted with. Um, so, so yes, I'm a I'm a person amongst people, right? And every time I get to speak to you guys, I'm humbled by the opportunity and by the sense of gratitude, that I have for that. And I don't take that for granted. And how do I deal with that? With the tools that I give you, with everything I tell you, I go through it. I never suppress it or deny it or try to pretend to be some sort of spiritual saint that is above everything. The only way out is in. It's something that I say pretty often. Um, if you can't really heal an injury that you ignore, then it will just bleed out. You'll bleed out. You got to face it. You got to face your demons. You got to face the human um, the human um, what's the word, the human spectrum, right? Negative feelings doesn't make you bad. You can be a very good, powerful, positive person and experience and explore those negative feelings. That's the only way to heal them, right? Now, there are healthy ways to express it. If I feel angry, I'm not going to ever punch anyone, but I will go to the gym and punch a punching bag, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell myself that I don't feel those feelings. I'm not going to pretend that they don't exist, because then it will be just suppressing them, and they will come out in one way, shape, or form. They have a physical weight in the world of matter. They will sit within you and they will take a toll and will come out in one way, shape, or form. Like, energy always expresses itself somehow. So I just find positive ways to express how I feel, either by communication or sports or just by feeling it, you know? And I hope that answers your question. And thank you for asking that. Hmm. Let's see. So, Lisa, as for your confidence with reading, you said, I've been slowly learning to read tarot cards, but my confidence is pretty low, but wanting to be wrong or hurt someone. First of all, you can tell the person that you're reading to, hey, I'm learning. Please take everything with a grain of salt, or be discerning and make decisions based on what you know for your life. Okay. You can tell that to the person that you're reading to, and then it's an experience. And that's something that I say to everyone, regardless. Like, even as an experienced tarotchi, I always tell people, be discerning, make decisions for yourself. So take that leap. You got to start somewhere. I'm not sure if you know this. I also have an online tarot masterclass, Bunkai, where I teach everything I know about tarot. It's 90 pre-recorded classes. You can rent the entire course or rent the classes separately if there are just specific cards you want to learn more about. And it's very, very systematic and very in-depth and very wholesome. My tarot masterclass, I do recommend myself. I teach there very responsibly, and if you take the entire class and take the classes chronologically, it will establish a very good, healthy, balanced, strong foundation for you as a Tochi. And it will also be a way for you to go through a shamanic spiritual journey with me. And that is on Vimeo, and the link to that is below all of my videos. So feel free to check it out. I think, oh my God, almost 2 hours. I think we're good for now. What do you guys, how do you guys feel? Does anyone else has a question for PayPal? If you do, let me know now. Lisa, you're a new subscriber. You're welcome. My pleasure. So if you have a reading, a question for PayPal, it's like I lost my capacity to speak. Hi, Vey. If you have a question for PayPal, do so now and let me know in the chat to expect it. Otherwise, I'm going to go in a few so you guys can say your goodbyes. A reminder, love readings, in-depth love readings are available for all the zodiac sign, by the sign, both on Patreon and on Vimeo. On Patreon, it's a monthly membership. Check it out. You have everything for unlimited streaming on top of other VIP content. I did readings for July, love readings for July over there by the zodiac sign. And I also uploaded them onto Vimeo if you want to, purchase them separately. And I made them half price in the way they have been. I dropped them from $13 to $6 because I wanted to partake in the collective effort. And a lot of people are going through a lot of challenges right now with the inflation and a lot of other financial challenges and the stock market, and things are crazy. So that is just my way of partaking in the collective effort. I hope it's helpful. But if you can and are willing, check out Patreon in order to support me as well on my journey of making a living while receiving lots of fun content on top of what you get here on YouTube. Okay. All right, guys, I think we're done, right? Anyone else? See if I missed it. I'm just going to my email to make sure I didn't miss anything. Answered this and answered that. Okay. All right. Thank you, my fellow humans. I love you guys, and I'll see you very soon. Stay magic, stay true,